guys, this is what we're making today. Welcome back to the Vegan Good Life with Miyoko, and I am making these delicious eggplant steaks with a tomato miso sauce and mozzarella. I am so glad to be back here in front of you guys. It's been a while. I had to take a little break, largely because Annie, who has been filming all of this, went off. She abandoned me and went to London and France and just was traipsing around Europe. And she's back now. There's been a few changes here in my kitchen. You know, I have one of these kitchens where I probably need about twice as much space because I have so many gadgets. One day my daughter Cammie decided to organize my kitchen for me, and she just started like putting things away and getting rid of stuff. She's like, you got 3 of this and 4 of that. And she goes, you don't need all this. And I said, I do. And I actually do when I need them. So, but I need a place to put various things. So this is a problem. I mean, just take a look at this rather unsightly rack of crap. And YITA Home reached out to me. It's a company that sells all kinds of furnishings, and they gave me this. So I am able to organize. It's a really cool thing. I can put my food processor, my KitchenAid, which was in another part of the kitchen, my ice cream maker, all this stuff here. Stuff I need to use on a regular basis is up here, and I can just grab it, and it was really easy to build.
I'm helping you.
You're helping? Are you putting my new shelf together?
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Okay. I'm gonna put it here.
Wow, my cabinet's coming along. Are you helping, Mia? Are you helping? Are you gonna climb on it?
Yeah, I'm gonna be the biggest in the world.
Wow, I can't wait to put my stuff on it. And you're so tall, you can almost touch the ceiling. So if you want to get something like this for your kitchen or something else, go to yitahome.com. There's a 15% coupon code Miyoko, M-I-Y-O-K-O. So the link is below. So check that out. And today it is summer, and it's hot. So I went down to the garden and I picked all of this in our beautiful compassionate education garden that we use for teaching kids. And we're gonna make a really simple eggplant tomato dish because that's what I've got today. And these are gonna be thick eggplant steaks that I'm not gonna salt. I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna boil them first before I sear them and brown them. And then we're gonna make a simple tomato miso sauce. Now that's not a combination most people put together, but I tried it and it's really good because the miso adds that umami. So I did it because I had a friend coming over who has a garlic allergy and I couldn't put garlic in it. So I thought, what can I do to my tomato sauce to give it a little bit of that oomph? And I tried miso and it's fantastic. So that's what we're gonna get started doing today. So welcome back everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Vegan Good Life with Miyoko, and let's get started. All right, we're gonna start by cutting these eggplants into nice, big, fat slices. And this is an easy dish. It comes together really in about 20 minutes. Looks a little fancy. We are gonna melt some mozzarella on it. If you wanna learn how to make the mozzarella, there's another episode. We'll put a link up there so you can go to the mozzarella episode and learn how to make it. Okay, I'm gonna add some salt to this water, and in go the slices. We're gonna cook them until they're very, very tender. You'll never know they were boiled. They don't get mushy, they get tender. And we do not have to salt and let them drain. So that's probably more than I can fit in there. Let me take one out. Okay, now we're gonna start on the sauce while the eggplant is cooking. They're gonna need about 10 minutes or so. So I'm gonna get the tomatoes. Okay, as you can see, I'm using different kinds of tomatoes. It'll mix it up in terms of the color, make it really colorful and beautiful. This also only cooks for a minute, and the tomatoes can be very ripe. You want them as sweet as possible. Now my friend had a garlic and onion allergy, so I didn't add any garlic or onion. I'm gonna add 1 clove of garlic. You don't need a lot because the miso adds so much flavor and umami, but I'm just gonna add a hint of garlic. You don't want it to be super garlicky. You want the flavors to be balanced. And of course, feel free to omit it if you don't want to add it. Okay, let's go to the stove. Getting my skillet hot before I add my olive oil. I have some olive oil from Palestine here, gifted me by a friend. We'll get that nice and hot. Now, we're going to add a little more olive oil to this sauce than in a typical pomodoro for your pasta. You want it to be sort of buttery in flavor. It's sort of like a miso butter concept with tomatoes. So a little bit more olive oil than I would typically use for something for this amount of tomatoes. Add the garlic. Let that sizzle for a minute when the olive oil gets hot enough. There it goes. It smells good already, yeah. All right, now I'm gonna add my tomatoes. And this is gonna cook for about 10 minutes while the eggplant's cooking. And we'll season it with a little bit of salt, some fresh basil, and it will be ready to go over the eggplant. Okay, I'm gonna pull these out. We're gonna drain them on this paper towel here. They've probably been cooking for about 5 minutes. I think I said 10, but it depends on the eggplants because I had some really tough eggplants and I did have to cook them for about 10 minutes, but these are a little more tender. So you want to pat them dry and then we're going to sear them in this other pan I've got ready. Now, cooking them in water will prevent them from absorbing tons and tons of oil, which is wonderful. So you don't end up with really oily but tender eggplants. It was a busy summer. I had my son and his family, my 2 grandkids, his lovely wife, descend upon this house for 7 weeks. And they were here just making me crack up. It was so much fun having them here. And Cammie came home from New York, where she's going to school. Sarah came up from San Diego. My niece came up with her mom and her boyfriend at one point. We had, I think, 10 or 11 people staying here at one point. It was a very, very lively household, and it was just fantastic. And now I'm by myself again, and I don't know what I'm going to do with all this food. I'll have to take it down to everyone down at the sanctuary at Rancho. Okay, I'm going to add, I forgot, the star of this sauce is miso. So I'm going to add a nice big dollop of miso. That's going to go right in here. And that's going to substitute for the salt as well. And I've actually been making kind of like a miso soup with tomatoes after I did this. And it's actually quite good. I mean, that would be sacrilegious. You would never put tomatoes in your miso soup in Japan. But I found that if I cook broth with tomatoes first to break down the tomatoes and then add miso, it is wonderful. So I've been doing that a lot lately. All right, as you can see, it's coming out creamier because of the addition of miso. And we're just gonna let this cook down about 5 minutes or so. My pan is hot and I gotta get my eggplants in there. Okay, I'm going to chiffonade some basil to put into the tomato miso, butter, or whatever I want to call it. I don't even think it's been 10 minutes. Just look at that. It's reduced beautifully. Be sure to use a wide pan when you're making this. Don't do this in a saucepan where, you want that surface area to let the tomato juices evaporate as quickly as possible. Okay, that is done, and we are just waiting for the eggplant now. Ooh, that one got a little neglected. Little neglected, Miyoko. You didn't take care of that one. Walking around too much. Alrighty. Let's get them on a sheet pan with a little bit of mozzarella and pop them into the oven. Do I use this guy? Might as well. Top it with some of this lovely tomato miso butter sauce. I don't know what you want to call it. I don't know what I want to call it. Now, you can go ahead and just serve it just like that. It's delicious, but we're going to melt some mozzarella on it. All right, I've got some mozzarella already made up, sliced. It's been marinating in olive oil. Now, if you want to learn how to make this mozzarella, I have a really easy recipe on this channel, so look for that. This is actually not the recipe on the YouTube channel. It's better. This will be in my new cookbook, The Homemade Vegan Creamery. But the one on my YouTube channel is also fantastic, and you can use that for this recipe. I'm going to put these in the oven at 375 degrees until the cheese is browned and melted and bubbly. Oh, that looks so good. Doesn't that look good? Let's get this plated up. We got to let this cool down a little bit before we can bite into it because they are hot. Now remember, you can serve this without the cheese, but of course the cheese just takes it over the top. Look at that beautiful mozzarella. Oh my God, look at that. All right, I gotta take a bite of this. Oh, it's not sauce. It's got consistency and stretch. Let me take a bite of this. I don't want to burn my mouth. I know it just came out of the oven, but I'm an impatient girl and I gotta take a bite. So good. This is, I made a lot of mozzarellas in my day, but this is the best mozzarella I've ever made. You're going to find out how to make it next year when my book comes out. In the meantime, you can substitute the mozzarella that's on this channel that's also really good. Just not as good as this one. That is so good. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in again. It's been great to share the Vegan Good Life with you once again, and I will see you again next week. So good. Velvety smooth. Oh my God.